I'm Caleb Anderson, and this is the Spirit Farm Podcast. Spiritual growth for real people in real life. And by the way, everything is spiritual. We are pulling truth. If it's true, it belongs to God, it belongs to us, and we want to leverage that, grab that so that we can grow. So we talk about all kinds of things. And in this special midweek motivation moment, I want to highlight just one idea. And I'm pulling this from the last episode when I interviewed Jean Klinkhamer, and he talked about his incredible near-death experience, which got me thinking about a concept that I used years ago after I walked through the death of my mother-in-law. Hillary lost her mom to pancreatic cancer about 10 years ago. And walking through that process, it was my first time being that close to death. And I was with her in the bedroom when the family was gathered around the bedside. I was there when Hillary was rubbing her mom's feet, putting lotion on her hands, saying last goodbyes and prayers, laughing about the good times, crying together because it was stinking sad. And in that space, it was this closeness, it was this thin veil between heaven and earth, between this place and the other side. And I just decided after going through that, I wanted to change some things in my life. I wanted to make the most of the time that I had, because this woman was dying at 55 years old. Just like Jean Klinkhamer in his interview talked about his boating accident, and I think he was in his late 30s. You just never know. We're not guaranteed time. So in just a couple of minutes, I want to help you think about creating a near-death experiment right here. Let's just imagine for a moment that you're not going to live forever. Let's imagine for a moment that you don't know how many breaths you have. How do you want to live this day? Will you focus on the things that matter most? Which, by the way, at the end of our lives, everyone says this. From the hospice people that I've spoken with to the pastors, and I've been one that go and visit people on their deathbeds, they care about the relationships in their life, the closest people to them, and they ask themselves, was I loved? Am I loving others well? Did I love my family and friends well? And then they ask themselves, did my life make an impact? Did I use my time well? Those are the questions that we ask ourselves at the end. So ask yourself those questions today. Are you loving well? And are you living well, using your time effectively, using the life that God has given you to make an impact for good? Now, I just want to leave you with two quick thoughts that can put that into action. A near-death experiment is all about making one little tweak in your life without having to have the tragedy. Now, you may be going through some tragedy. Someone you love may be going through some tragedy, but whether you are or not, you can still make a 2-degree shift in the course of your life and in your day just by asking yourself a couple of questions. Write these down. If you're driving, don't do that. Just think about it, come back to it later. 1, what's one thing that I'll no longer tolerate? What's one thing that stops right now? Just one thing. Maybe it is hitting the snooze button. Maybe it is continuing to get frustrated with your spouse or your significant other over something stupid. I'm just done with that. I'm not going to be that person anymore. But whatever that is, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I'm going to rise above it. Think about that one thing. Think about it today. Focus on it. This is going to help you love better or live better and make the most of the time that you have. And then the second question is the follow-up. It is, what will I start doing now? I'm going to be a better listener. I'm going to spend that time at the end of the night reflecting, preparing for tomorrow. I am going to wake up 30 minutes earlier. I'm going to eliminate this kind of food from my diet because it doesn't help me. I am going to stop drinking or limit my drinking to 1 drink at the end of the day or when I am out with other people at a restaurant or whatever the case may be. I am going to start living this way. I'm going to start thinking this way. I'm going to start engaging with this person in this new way. So one thing I'm going to stop, one thing I'm going to start. Just one. just one. And you don't have to have a tragedy. You don't have to have the boating accident. You don't have to have the death of the parent. You don't have to have that to spark this simple little 2-degree change. It will make a big impact down the road. That is your near-death experiment for today. I hope it serves you, and I'll see you in the next episode. As always, share this with someone else. Let it be an encouragement. Let's continue to spark good, point people toward God, and living the lives that He designed us to live. Until next time.